Hello, friends. Hello, and welcome back to the Normal Procedure podcast. It is a beautiful spring day. The sun is out, the sun is shining, the kids are playing, the adults are drinking, and everything's going down. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing splendid. Remember, if you enjoy this content, you already know what to do. Everyone tells you across all other platforms, across everything on the internet. So you know what to do if you enjoy my content. And I do it because of the people like you, the normal people. This podcast used to be called The Average Guy's Guide to Life. This is a new venture. This is the rebranding of that podcast. Average Guy's Guide to Life was a little too long, but the soul of the content will remain the same. I'm talking to normal people, average people, the vast majority of us, the 90%, and the silent majority. I learned that that's who I speak for the most, the silent majority. And I'm going to be getting into that a little later because we have to stop being so silent because we are the majority. The vocal minority is shouting us down and we're too indifferent to care. We have to stop being so indifferent because we make up most of this nation, America. This is us. We are here. We are out here paving the streets. We are out here working the registers. We are out here in corporate America. We're out here consumers, bloggers, journalists, scientists. We're average. We are the average people, and average isn't something that should be associated negatively. Of course, there's the American dream, and everyone wants to live that American dream, but we have to be realistic as well. And the short end of it, the real part of it is that not all of us will obtain that American dream. And there's nothing wrong with that. We've been told that there's something wrong with us not obtaining a certain status, us not obtaining a certain level of success, a certain social climate, or a social atmosphere, I should say. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. We're all in this race, and people start at different points. We all end up in different areas. We have this finite life that we live, but we have to understand and we have to come to terms with there not being anything wrong with living the average life. I think of the scene in Bruce Almighty. Has anyone ever seen that movie, Bruce Almighty? Right before he gets endowed with the power of God, he goes on this tangent to where he is basically being belligerent and loud towards Jennifer Aniston. I think that's her name, Jennifer Aniston. Everybody thought she was attractive. I just think she's average looking. Maybe that's just me, but there's nothing wrong with being average. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with her being average. I just think she's average looking, has a nice body, typical white girl body. She's fit, but I just thought facially she's very average looking, very small lips. She has, I guess, nice eyes, but that's neither here nor there. But there's this scene in Bruce Almighty where he goes on this tangent and he's complaining about his average life because he's a weatherman. He thinks he should be lead anchor and all this shit. And he just go, okay, if you hear a cat in this broadcast, it's because if you pay attention to my content, you understand the you understand the timeline to what's been happening. I adopted an animal. The animal doesn't know how to behave. Therefore, the animal has been placed in temporary isolation. I put the animal in the hole. I put the animal in the hole because they don't know how to behave like a fucking, I guess, a house cat. It's behaving like a feral cat but want house cat benefits. Like, how the fuck are you going to behave like a feral cat but didn't want to be treated with respect? You fucking animal. No, I'm not going to treat you with respect. Take your ass in the basement. That is where you belong. He's usually quiet, but right now he hears me talking and doing his podcast, so he wants some attention. But as I was saying, he goes on this tangent and this tirade and basically diminishes his average life. And the whole journey of the movie, it goes over a lot of people's heads because they, Morgan Freeman is God, and they want to, you think and you fantasize and you fantasticize the God element of it. But at the end of the day, at the end of the movie, it is about an average man learning to appreciate his average life. And that goes for average women too. You gotta learn to appreciate your average life, because it's the tippity top of the top that's going to get a different outcome. So I'm going to be getting into that a little later. But speaking of average, I wanted to talk about office environments and corporate or small office or wherever you work, and how that shit it's not human. It's not meant to be for humans. It's an unnatural environment. Like, we're already like escaped from nature. We are so departed from nature. We don't even know what it means to live on the land. We have no fucking idea. We've been so institutionalized by everything that we have and everything that's at our fingertips and all the technology and all the resources. We just live in an isolated bubble detached from everything. But the worst of that, the very bottom of the bottom, is the office environment, because you're forced to be stuck in this fucking hole, like this plot of land. They herd you in there to do a task with a bunch of strangers that you're forced to try and get to know, and hopefully you get along, because you're forced to be in this box with these people. And of course, there's going to be combative sort of relationships and tension, and you're sitting there for 8 hours at a time. Your body's not meant to fucking do that. Nobody's meant to do that. It's unnatural. I don't know why we still do it that way when a lot of people and a lot of office jobs can be remote. People can work from home. There are ways for things to be done. But we still do it that way. And I want to know from people that work in the office if you've ever experienced something that I'm about to point out. Because I had myself a Curb Your Enthusiasm moment. And I'm going to take a drink for this one, because this is some shit here. This ain't water. This is not water. This is not fucking distilled water. This is distilled fucking engine fluid. I don't know how I don't have a beard at this point. I don't have no chest hair. Like, it's just bare. It's bare. I don't know. They say this shit will put hair on your chest. They lied. Why did they lie? But we're about to get into some shit, because I had a Curb Your Enthusiasm moment that I wasn't prepared for, and I want to know where you stand on this, especially if you smoke. It'll make more sense later. So, for the love of Christ. So I smoke. I use a vape. I use a vape. I used to smoke cigarettes. Now, my vape has greatly diminished my nicotine intake, because at the peak of my powers, I was smoking at least 8 cigarettes a day. I never got up to a pack. And I got up to 8 and that would be me being a chain smoker. Like, I was smoking 8 for not that long, but long enough to notice it. And then I got more active, and I wanted to play basketball again. I wanted to lift weights again. I wanted to play sports again. But I was still smoking at the time. And I also had a very active job at the time. So what I would do is I would smoke half, and I would save the other half. Save money, save your lungs, all the good shit. And my average when I was actually smoking cigarettes, Newports, of course, because I'm from the fucking hood, bitch. I'm from the hood. We smoke Newports and drink Hennessy. So my average was about, I want to say, 4 or 5 cigarettes a day, 4.5. But I quit, and I slowly transitioned to cigars, and that was just terrible. The taste isn't as smooth as a nice, crispy menthol Newport. So I'm like, I can't do this forever. And I discovered vapes. At first, I smoked the Juul, but the Juul, it feels like you shouldn't be smoking it. Like you just shouldn't be touching that fucking thing. Like when you smoke, you shut up, cat. When you smoke a fucking Juul, it just feels unnatural. Like it literally feels like you're sucking on a USB cord, like a thumb drive. That's what a Juul felt like to me. And I did the Juul for a little bit, but I got sick of fucking sucking on a thumb drive, and I transitioned to the Posh. And if anyone ever smoked before, you know that there's an etiquette to smoking. It's horrendous. Like when I quit and all of my clothes smelled like fucking cigarettes, I couldn't believe that I did it for that long. I just couldn't believe it. It was baffling to me that no one ever told me how much I stunk. I smelled like shit. Like it was terrible. And I'm obsessed with things that smell good. I need smell goods in my life. So the fact that no one told me that I smelled like straight up formaldehyde or whatever the fuck, I couldn't believe it. So there is an etiquette to smokers. You go outside, you huddle up with your other fucking group of degenerates that's out there smoking cigarettes and shit, and you know that no one will ever accept you smoking in an office. That's just what it is. You can't do it. You can't smoke indoors anywhere. People don't want to die like you want to die. You have a fucking death wish. You're out here burning your lungs up, and you're doing it because it feels good for a few seconds before you need another one. And then you need another one. So you're just doing it, for a temporary high. And don't trick yourself, smokers. It's a high. You're getting high. You're getting high. And at first you were getting high legally, but now weed's illegal in a lot of places. So, now you're already addicted to cigarettes. That's a whole thing. So when I switched to the vape, I stuck to the etiquette when I wasn't in my house. If I'm in my house, I'm going to smoke inside my house. There's no one here but me. But when I'm at work, I would try and smoke in a place where no one could see me. Because I'm not going to go all the way fucking outside just to smoke a vape. Not going to do that. It doesn't have a smell. My vape doesn't have a smell. It smells like nothing. It smells like fucking nothing. So what I would do is I would go into the bathroom while I'm taking a leak, take a few puffs, bam, look at myself, I'm doing good, go back to my fucking work. Do what I got to do. We live in normal lives out here. This is what we have to do. Fuck. I'm stressed. I'm looking at spreadsheets. I do not want to be here. This is unnatural. I have people walking by me that I don't know. I don't even remember their names. I've been here for a while. I still don't know their fucking names. I don't want to know their fucking names. I don't want them to talk to me. I don't want to talk to them. I want to do my time, and I want to get the fuck out. That's every day. That's every fucking day. All I want to do is do my time and get the fuck out. That's all of us. All of us, no matter what the fuck you do. I happen to be very fortunate to where I do a job where I get to move at my own pace, do my own thing. I'm not overwhelmed. It's easy. A fucking ape could do it. But just imagine these motherfuckers that work on the docks or work on a fucking, they work manual labor, construction, something like that. They work on a fucking coal mine or something like that. Just imagine them putting in their 8 versus your 8. Like, we just want to fucking get our shit done and get the fuck out of there. And I've learned throughout my years that the manual labor jobs, believe it or not, the manual labor jobs are the ones where you actually bond with people because you're doing hard, strenuous work and you're doing it with other people. So there's a camaraderie to where you're going to the slums together. You're going through the sludge together. It's like you're fucking, you're bonding through the struggle. And I think that's, to a more greater extent what the Army is and why people grieve so hard over losing their brothers and sisters in arms. It's like you're going through the fucking grind together, and it's unpleasant, and you have to do it, like I said, to them a more greater extent. So kudos to them. I am a podcast that supports the troops. I love the flag. I love the freedom. I love this country. I love everything that, I am able to do with this. Like, I'm able to do this. Like, literally, right now, I could say, fuck Joe Biden. I could say, fuck Donald Trump. I can say, I want to piss on Joe Biden's fucking pulled back hairline. I just want to piss on his head. That's my fetish. I want to pee on Biden. That's my fetish. Or I can say, I want to take Nancy Pelosi's dentures out of her mouth and fuck her face, because that's my kink. That's my fetish. I like fucking old, rich, corrupt white women. That's my thing. I could say that. I could say, fuck the American dollar. Buy Bitcoin. I could say that. And no one's knocking on my door to come execute me. I love this country. We get a lot of, now I'm going off on a different thing, but we give this place a lot of flack because we wish it was better in certain elements. And of course, there's always going to be room for growth in all elements of life. And especially when it comes to the place you live, especially if you talk about, where you live locally, and then citywide, and then statewide, and then nationally. Like, there's always going to be room for growth. Fuck, I live in a place where there's always construction, but yet the potholes are never fixed. What the fuck? When I was in my hometown, Chicago, people know Madison is never fucking fixed. The 290 is always under construction. The expressway, is it the 290? Whatever it is. The Eisenhower, it's just always under fucking construction. So we get into this, mindset that everything should be perfect. Everything is a work in progress. Appreciate what we have. Now back to what I was saying. So I have my vape. And I like to, sorry that I went off on a tangent there, but remember, we're still talking about smokers. Oh shit, the police out there. Are they looking for me? Oh shit, they might be coming up in here. Oh no. They're just literally right there talking. That's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't do anything, by the way. I didn't do anything. But, so I still have the etiquette of a traditional smoker. So what I'm doing is I take my vape and I don't try to blow it throughout the office, and just be open with it, because it's just distracting. It's distracting in a professional environment, especially my particular work environment. I don't work with a lot of smokers. This is one of the first places where I didn't work with a lot of smokers. So if you've ever watched Curb Your Enthusiasm, click that on now and just imagine this as Larry David, right? I am not smoking in public. They don't see me smoking outside. They don't see me smoking at my desk. I have basically hidden away the fact that I use this vape and I smoke. I go to the bathroom, I take a couple puffs while I'm pissing, I wash my hands, make sure I'm good, leave. No one's ever seen it. I think I'm good. I'm not a disgusting smoker, okay? I'm not disgusting. But this one day, I am doing my routine, take a pee. I don't have to touch my wiener. I just pull my pants down and let it flow. You do with that information what you will. And I'm puffing, take a few puffs while the stream is flowing. And after the stream is done, zip up. No, shake. A couple shakes. Get the drips off. Zip up. Wash my hands. And I do a couple other puffs before I put it in my pocket. And I'm looking at myself to make sure I'm good. Vogue a little bit. And who walks in the door but the fucking CEO of the company? And you know that thing you do when you don't know someone's on the other side? Like you walk through a doorway and someone's like right there. Or someone bursts into a room and you don't know they're coming. You do that like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I did that like real quick. I was like, he walked in, he was like, whoa. And I was like, oh shit. That don't look good. That just does not look good. It's the first thing that doesn't look good. The second thing that don't look good, he had to know there's smoke everywhere in this bathroom. This bathroom is just filled with fucking smoke. Okay? And you see a young black man staring into the mirror like he's zoned out. Like as soon as you walk in, I'm just doing this. I'm literally just playing with my eyes. I'm like looking at him. I'm making him a little bigger. Doing this. Like, just the second thing that don't look good. I'm like, oh shit. Now I'm a thinker. I process information very quickly. I process situations very quickly. So I'm thinking these things does not look good. I hope he says something about it because I could simply explain to him that this is my posh doing it. I know it's not good. It decreased my nicotine intake, but it's just a posh. He didn't mention anything. He didn't say a damn thing. He didn't say a damn thing. He just kind of pissed. I guess that's what you do in the bathroom. But I'm like, fuck. So the wheels are turning, and I'm like, what does this look like? What does this look like? This looks like I'm getting high in the bathroom because you don't instantly associate vapes with nicotine. A lot of people, you associate it with marijuana. I'm retired. I don't smoke weed no more. I used to be a real heavy smoker. If you're new to this program, I mentioned that in an episode of the Average Guy's Guide to Life podcast back when it was called that, called Marijuana Diaries. If you have not listened to Marijuana Diaries, I would stop this right now where you are. Go back and listen to Marijuana Diaries. And then come back. So I'm thinking, oh, he definitely thinks that I'm getting high in this fucking bathroom. So I'm in a fucking panic because he already burst into the bathroom and shook me. So I'm like, gee, shaking a little bit because if you're not used to being disturbed, when the moment someone disturbs you, you're shaking a little bit. I don't give a fuck who you are. Like, I know how to legitimately murder people if I wanted to. With my bare hands, I could just murder somebody. I could put them in a choke them to death. Like, I could do that. But still, we've even seen it, if you're a fight fan like I am, Michael Bisping, when they were at the Fox set, I think this was before ESPN, they used to try and, make Michael Bisping jolt. They used to try and scare him, and they got him several times. Well, maybe not several times. I might be embellishing a little bit there. But the most famous time is when they got him, and it was Halloween, and, the Kenny Florian meme when he did that, like, goofy fucking laugh. That's really inside baseball. But, no matter who, the point is, no matter who you are, no matter how hardened you are, you can be jolted. So I was jolted. I was shaking. This all happened within 15 seconds. And I'm like, fuck, I leave the bathroom. And I'm like, how can I get him to engage and say what happened? What did he see? How can I get him to tell me what he saw? Remember, you still have your Curb Your Enthusiasm brain on. I am Larry David right now. This is So that's what this is. And I'm like, fuck. So I'm trying to get him to engage with me as he exits the bathroom. My desk is like right there, my little cubicle area. And I try to grab some paperwork I know that he's associated with. I'm like, maybe if I ask him a random question about this, he'll bring up, what was all the smoke in the bathroom, Chris? You were in there smoking a meth vape? Like something, anything. This fucking mayor of Whoville looking motherfucker. So anyway, I try to do that. He doesn't engage. He tells me to ask somebody else. I'm like, fuck, I struck out. Damn it. So now the wheels have turned. And I know what he thought he saw. And the worst case scenario, the best case scenario is what he think he saw was he startled me while smoke was in the bathroom, and it could have been a vape. Any kind of vape. That's the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is he walked into the bathroom, startled me, and Chris was getting high as fuck on the clock. That's the worst case scenario. Now, it's always the worst case scenario, no matter how you play it in your head, especially when you're dealing with, I'm just going to say it, people of another race, older, male. You know, they're going to go with the worst case scenario, especially I know him a little bit. And he went into a meeting, and I know he's going into this meeting. Now, going into a meeting with something you interpret as comical or surprising, like Chris getting high in the bathroom, then you can go into this meeting, share that experience, whether it's comical or surprising, and now that's when the seed has been planted. Now you are officially a part of office gossip. What the fuck do you do in that situation? So I went from a serial smoker, 8 cigarettes a day. You know, I'm basically buying a pack every other day. That was the maximum of it, to at least a pack a week. Then, you know, smelling myself and doing all that, and now trying to just hide the fact that I smoke. You go from that to CEO thinks you smoke weed in the bathroom. The fuck do you do? What do you do? I'm gonna be homeless. I'm not gonna have a place to live. I'm gonna be outside. I am about to live outside. So if anyone's seeing this and they feel sorry for me, lend me a bed. I swear to God, I have skills. I know numbers and shit. I'll make you laugh. You know, I know how to make those jello things that you put in a bowl. People do that anymore? I remember that used to be a thing when I was growing up, making jello in a bowl and shit. But that was my story for the smokers, and I just want to know how you feel about that. Like, when is it okay to smoke a vape? Like, is it still inappropriate to vape in an open office environment? Should I have hidden it to the point to where I'm smoking in the bathroom because I don't want it to be a professional distraction to the rest of the office? Should I just fucking smoked it, you know, just out? What should I have done? Should I have gone outside like it was a cigarette that actually had a fucking disgusting odor and that actually put other people's lives at risk? What should I have done? I have no fucking idea, but at this very moment, what I'm going to do is make sure that everyone understands the concept, or everyone understands exactly what happened in that instance. Because, like I said, for us average people, we have to worry about stupid fucking shit like that. We have to worry about things getting out of our control in this unhealthy ass, unnatural ass environment, to where people have this opinion of you, and everyone deals with it on some level or another. Even if you don't engage with the people that you work with, maybe they think something about you because of that. Just you not engaging. They have no information about you whatsoever, but they still know that you refuse to engage with them. So they think about you in a way about that. So the majority, by the way, we have to deal with these things because we still need to make a living and we still need to provide for ourselves. So we sit and we deal. That's a part of what makes it unnatural, because if it wasn't in that environment, it would be settled in a completely different way. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But leave what you think in the comments. I'm going to have another drink because, like I said, I might be living outside. That's cool. I did that before. I think I mentioned that on a previous podcast too. I think I mentioned when I was homeless. If I haven't, let me know. I will definitely tell those stories. Those are some of the most interesting fucking stories to tell when I was actually living outside. And people always say I'm homeless or when they got somewhere to go. I mean, I was outside. I was on park benches and shit, sleeping on trains and buses. So if I didn't tell those stories, let me know. Maybe I'll refresh your memory. I think I will. They're interesting stories, so excuse me if I tell them again. And if you enjoy this content or any independent content creators content, just support us because, you know, we all have the capacity to do other things. And lots of people don't choose to do them because they're content with where they are. But the people that make the effort outside of the normal lives that we all live to do these things, it's because they're chasing something. And we're all trying to chase some shit. So go appreciate, Sally or fucking, Rayshawn or, Maria or whoever the fuck. Go give them some love. Give them some love because they're trying. They're trying to do some shit. Whether they're selling makeup, they're trying to do clothes, they have a marketing business and they're just getting started. Go help them. Go help some people. And maybe, we can break the cycle of normalities. All right. Bye.